Just a heads up before starting that this is a bloodless draw. I've included it for completeness' sake because it is a league match and I do record all my matches anyway. But if you're here for blood and death, this is not the one. If you're here for a spot of maneuvering by the sea, well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to another Field of Glory 2 Digital League battle. This is Season 11, High Middle Ages, Division A. In this match against Constantine, I have my Papal with Byzantine allies against his Berber Almohad. So I have a nice hill, and I'm gonna camp it because, well, I'm just not sure what he's gonna bring. He could go with a massive light, foot, or horse. He could get a whole bunch of cheap cavalry, camels, or just a wall of veteran Muslim spearmen, which is my guess for what he's going to do. But still, it's kind of a game of 4D chess here. Given my lack of, 7 units of superior infantry, I might just play for a draw here, to be honest. Okay, so I'm hedging my bets a bit. Almost maxed on Lightfoot, almost maxed on crossbowmen, but no light horse or shooty horse, or really any extra cavalry at all, because the camels can disorder my horse, and in terms of a light cavalry contest, he has a minimum of 4, and I have a maximum of 3, so I feel like my men would just get murdered. I did consider grabbing the Klebattle Fodoi because they are super heavy, but given that he might find a way to disorder them, and my fear of getting shot up, I instead opted to spend the 78 points on 2 additional units of crossbowmen instead of the 1 Klib. So for heavies to counter the veteran Muslim spearmen, I have 2 dismounted knights and sergeants, and a Varangian guard unit, maybe here. It can go either direction depending on where his heavies deploy. I have knights here, backed by spearmen, maybe there, that would be better. So we're going to hold the rough and giant hill in this ridge line from here in the sea to these forests. His only medium foot is irregular foot, so if my crossbowmen just get disrupted at impact in the forest, they'll be fine and be fighting actually slightly up on POA and equal disorder against irregular foot, being protected due to their armor as opposed to the lightly protected irregular foot. So again, this is a defensive deployment for a draw. If I'm mistaken and it looks viable to push into the open against his army, I will do so, though having committed so much to missile troops, I have made it less possible for myself to attack. I just think that given the possibilities of his army of massed cheap or light cavalry, and the other possibility of just a huge horde of superior foot, both scenarios would end badly for me pushing into the open flat ground, so I think this is the wisest course of action. Okay, let's see that force comp. As I feared. 2, 3, 4, all 7 units of veteran Muslim spearmen, camels, archers, and cheap light spear cavalry with a strong backing of light foot. So we're gonna camp. We are gonna camp out. Just a nice little time hanging out in the countryside. Now, do I want to keep these over here or move? Let's throw 1 unit of lights up and then advance these crossbowmen into this wood. Alright, there we are. Next turn. Okay, light cavalry. So I think I will want to get a good spread of light infantry back here after all. Massed archers. Okay, so he's going to swing that way, so we need to counter. And we can leave a light garrison here and still hold it pretty easily. So Skatatoi, and what? Crossbowmen there. Cover with spears. Move our artillery to that tile. And shift over. Good. Let's see. The guard as well. And turn, maybe sticking the spears there. Okay. So, battle's going to be fought here, unless the alternative will be to contract the line still further. I could have my hill garrison and then pull back to here. The problem with that being it's not very much terrain for the crossbowmen to hide in. And I'm not convinced that I can win a shootout in the open. But on the bright side, I mean, if I just held this hill and then maybe that's worth a try. It's like extra cowardly. But I just have no confidence at all of fighting veteran Muslim spearmen in the open. So we'll shift over. Crossbowmen will make their way to deploy on the hill. Spearmen in front. High quality infantry and knights here with the screen of skirmishers. The downside will be exposure to like cavalry charges. Forest does a good job neutralizing that, but the upside will be a nice compact defensible formation in theory. Next turn. So yeah, light infantry is going to line up against that. So we'll shoot back with the crossbowmen and Skatatoi. Yes, I've thoroughly learned my lesson in the match against Harvey that this Papal list is not meant for fighting camels and veteran Muslim spearmen on open ground. So we are going to, not do that. Okay, so we turn you around, line up for battle, get on the hill, and back. Crossbowman maybe in this built-up area. Does he have medium foot? Just see archers. That's no big deal. Okay, back. More crossbowmen. Okay, and we're off to hide. Next turn. Okay. And let's keep lining up. Get over. Push you towards that built-up area. Over. And withdraw. Good. Get you up there. Shift some knights over all the way to the flank. Right. Should I open up? Seems kind of pointless. I don't think I'll bother unless I get cavalry in range or veterans. There, get them lined up. And I think that should be fine for now. Next turn. To find a way to anchor my flank so the cavalry can't slip past. Maybe I need spears on the end? We'll see. And given my experience with similar matchups, I'm definitely playing for a draw, so time is on my side. These lancers out of the way, and maybe this unit can occupy space there. Wheel about, get in there. Good. Okay, we're out of close bow shot. Knights and sergeants. Maybe there. Okay. Is it worth opening up for 30 casualties? Probably not. Maybe, in fact, turn that way. Then what's your range? Not bad. Alright, so otherwise we can just sort of hang out. Next turn. Well, we can start taking pot shots now. Why not? Hello. Yeah, okay, 3 casualties. Alright, get to line. Switch flanks with you. And clearly, infantry isn't going to be as needed there. Why don't we switch a couple units over? Even a few units to the center, and then they can go either way as needed. Okay. That should be good for now. Next turn. Alright, turnabout. There we are. And that should be good for now. Can take more pot shots just because. You never know. Next turn. Okay, if the lights are switching over as well, we'll take these 4 units of lights and shift them over. No interest in being forced to move. And I'll probably need the help given the presence of all this light cavalry. They're bound to charge and at least break some of our light foot. Time for another pot shot? Sure. Can threaten to arc around, but no need to commit yet. Constantine offers a draw. Unless I come out, which I'm fine with the draw. I'm not fighting this in the open. These turn back around, turn these around, etc. So I'll do my moves and then accept the draw and see if he likes to do any further play for science or if we'll leave it at that. And sure, send our greetings. So draw it is, and I think Constantine is probably swamped in matches, so we will not carry on. So he says, choose a draw without the science experiment, although I like playing against you. I share your analysis. I should win on the flat land. I take this army because the strong heavy infantry component, the veteran spearmen gave me the victory in the knockout tournament. The drawback is that I cannot force an opponent to fight in the open. Two of my opponents have settled in a swamp or a forest, and I don't have medium foot to dislodge them. So that is so good, army. Congrats again for your win in antiquity. Well, thank you. I'm confused. Does he mean that he's going to attack? Or I should just surrender? I don't know. Here, get some casualties on there. Alright, so it looks like we're just going to report the draw and then I'll surrender. So that's the game. I really only post this sort of thing because it completes the set. It is actually interesting if you play a lot, but it's probably not that interesting to watch unless you're coming at it from like a studying the league perspective. Basically, Constant and I both more or less agree I can't face this in the open, and this is probably too strong a position for him to assault. So it's a draw. It happens. If he had time, I would march down to test my theory, but I think he's got too many matches going at once, so it is what it is. So 0-0, and that's 0 points for both of us. Good game. It seems kind of silly, but it was an interesting puzzle, and I'm honestly perfectly fine with this. I think it's better than I could have hoped for if the terrain hadn't been so defensible. So, a good game to Constantine. Until next time.